Well, Donald Trump is getting impatient with Russia and has given President Vladimir Putin a 50-day ultimatum to end the nearly 3.5-year conflict or face severe secondary trade tariffs.
Because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple.
Yeah, of about 100%, that is. Joining me now is podcast host of Brad versus Everyone, Brad Polumbo. Brad, hello. Thank you for joining me. Look, Donald Trump's threats are getting very serious now, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they are. And I think we should all be rooting for him on this, that he's able to bring an end to the war and negotiate a deal. You know, Trump promised that he would stop it and come to peace on day one of his presidency. That was always unrealistic, if we're being honest. But if he could use this trade leverage to bring about a ceasefire, I think that would be phenomenal. I think everybody would appreciate and celebrate that, because it's been years of just bloody war after Russia's unjustified invasion. But the idea that we could just hold out for Ukraine to eventually win the day, I mean, as much as I think most people would like to see that, a degree of realism and practicality is needed here. And Trump, I really hope he can get a deal done. That was part of his pitch to the American people. I'm a deal maker. I'll bring this stuff to an end. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting as well. Donald Trump revealed that Melania Trump actually played a role in identifying the issues with Vladimir Putin. I like that it took his wife to do so. But what more can you tell us about what she said to her husband?
Well, she's actually been an influence on him on this kind of issue in a particularly interesting way, given her background and her different, very international life and connections. And it is interesting that he's open to this kind of thing, and that tells you she's in his inner circle. She's influencing the president. And on the flip side, though, the fact that she was informing him about cities being hit, you would think his other officials would be more on top of that. But as long as he's ultimately finding out about it in a timely fashion, I guess that's fine. Hopefully she can work some Melania magic and bring this about and bring this to an end soon.
Yeah, we're all hoping for that outcome. Now, let's change pace. We all know Donald Trump and Rosie ODonnell. They've had their differences, and I think that's probably putting it mildly. With the pair, gosh, they've been exchanging jabs going back decades. But now Donald Trump has said he's considering revoking her citizenship after she fled the country to escape his presidency. He took to Truth Social to say that because of the fact that Rosie ODonnell is not in the best interests of our great country, I'm giving serious consideration to taking away her citizenship. She goes on, Brad, to say that she's a threat to humanity. I mean, you've got to laugh, don't you?
I mean, it's comical in one sense. I think she's a clown. I think her stunt of fleeing the United States was silly. At the same time, I do not, in fact, think she is a threat to humanity. I imagine that's just Trump's typical bluster and hyperbole. And this is probably just a barb. I don't think he can actually revoke her citizenship unless she's committed some sort of serious crime or another offense. Americans are entitled to say whatever they like, even troll, even be as ridiculous and absurd as she has been, and they still are citizens, whether any politician likes it or not. So I wouldn't anticipate that actually happening. The truth is, though, about these kinds of spats, this is good for both of them. Rosie ODonnell will play the victim, but this is great for her. This feeds in, gets her more attention. She wants Trump tweeting about her.
Of course she does. She wants the attention, but I think Donald Trump absolutely loves it as well when it comes to poor old Rosie O. Now, Brad, you've had quite a fun exchange overnight on CNN where commentator Anna Navaro dismissed your views because you're a white man. Here is that moment.
I want to respond to you saying that I was hyperbolic when I talked about a reign of terror.
Because that is hyperbolic.
No, it might be hyperbolic for you as a white man.
Oh, okay.
It's certainly not hyperbolic for me as a Latino. No, I'm not being racist.
It's incredible to dismiss my opinion for being a white man.
No, I'm not dismissing your opinion.
Oh, gee, Brad, why do you subject yourself to CNN?
I think it's fun. I'm here for the debate. I love it. And I just found it comical because, listen, this is the problem with the left and with their addiction to identity politics. Anna Navaro made a claim that Trump had a reign of terror in America. And I said, I think that's a bit hyperbolic. She said, no, it isn't. And then instead of explaining facts or arguments about why it's fine, she cited my race. That's identity politics.
Unbelievable. Brad, unbelievable. Seriously typical of the left. Brad Polumbo, thank you so much for joining me.